Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today I want to kind of talk about something that has recently just happened, and I am very, very passionate about. I love watching this every year. I've watched it this year, and I've watched it last year, so I'm a relatively new Eurovision fan. But today I wanted to come on here and analyze pretty much every single song that was sent to Eurovision 2024. Basically, what I have here is all of the entries that qualified for the grand final are on this side, and I've ordered them based on vocals, staging, and the song itself. And then I've put into an overall score. And then the countries that did not qualify, I've also done the same and put an overall score next to them. So this is how I'm going to be analyzing it. And basically, this is, according to my opinion, how well I think they should have done in the grand final and who I think should have qualified in the end. I feel like I should start with the bottom of the grand final, in my opinion. So, to start, in my opinion, I feel like Estonia should have placed last in the grand final. It's a very fan-favorite song, so take this as kind of a jury standpoint, because had it not been for the televote, Denmark or Czechia probably would have gotten in. I forget who had more points, but I feel like Czechia was close to overtaking. Who was it? Who almost overtook? Or who did Czechia almost overtake? I forget who it was. Was it Norway in semifinal too? It was either Norway or Austria that almost got eliminated and non-qualified in semifinal 2. But yeah, pretty much Estonia is the only reason, or the televote is pretty much the only reason, in my opinion, that Estonia even qualified. It's quite a televote-friendly song, but not a jury-friendly song. And this is kind of where my analysis comes in. Their vocals were kind of not great, one of the worst throughout the night. Staging didn't honestly really help the song a lot. It was almost too colorful and didn't really... It kind of contradicted the song and its meaning. I kind of would have liked a darker, kind of more rugged kind of staging. The budget of the staging for Estonia lacked, and the song itself, while it is fun, yeah, as I said, it's a very televote-friendly song, but the juries don't really like to take those joke-ish songs or kind of more just out there songs for more points. So essentially I've rated this a 6.4 out of 10, meaning it's last in the grand final, meaning that Denmark, that got a 7.8 out of 10, that non-qualified, according to my opinion, would have qualified over Estonia in semifinal 2. So yeah, let's go over to the non-qualifications then and analyze Denmark. Saba's vocals were fantastic, but everything but the vocals kind of lacked. The staging, she was kind of static and wasn't really moving around a whole lot. Kind of she's used that kind of staging that entire like national final and for the rehearsal. It hasn't really changed much. And then the song is kind of just bland, but the vocals really overpowered this ranking, and I feel like the juries would have voted this way higher had Denmark gotten in. Here we have Serbia. Serbia also, with my calculations, it would have non-qualified as well. And Poland would have qualified over Serbia in semifinal 1. Her vocals were a little bit shaky. I feel like they got better as the song went on. The staging, I feel like the rock the small rock and the background of the staging. It could have been better. I feel like it could have been better, but it wasn't like a make or break situation. And I really, really like this song. It's one of the most mellow songs in Eurovision, so it kind of gives the audience a breather. But I feel like everything was just okay. Nothing was really bad. Like, her vocals weren't terrible. The staging, while not terrible, it wasn't anything groundbreaking. This was a 7.1, and Poland was a 7.3. So the staging in the song for Poland way overshadows the vocals. And the vocals are a big reason as to why, in my opinion, that Poland didn't qualify. Her vocals were very, very rough. Probably one of the worst that we've heard this Eurovision. But her staging and the song kind of redeemed that. So, yeah, Poland, based on my opinion, would have qualified over Serbia. But I'm actually glad Serbia qualified. I like the Serbian song better than Poland. But just the calculations that I had here don't show that. So obviously, my calculations aren't going to add up to necessarily my overall opinion, because there's some songs up here that I don't really care for, but the staging is something that you can't deny is good, or vocals. So yeah, that kind of also plays a part. And moving on to Cyprus, Liar. This is kind of like a badass girl pop that Cyprus likes to send every year. The vocals, I couldn't really tell if there were like a lot of overlay or her vocals were really, really quiet, because they sounded almost too good, which is why I put them at a 7.2. But I thought they were okay if she was actually singing live. The staging, I mean, yeah, same with Cyprus and Serbia are kind of in the same boat. Nothing really groundbreaking in terms of performance. The song, it's a catchy song, and I really like it, but 7.1 as well. But the vocals on Cyprus's part were better, which is why I I put Cyprus ahead of Serbia, because it's something that I saw would fit the grand final more than Serbia's song. And here we have a shocker one. I was actually shocked to see that Austria would have non-qualified. So, yeah, as we know, the vocals for Austria's song were kind of rough. Colleen, this was kind of apparent through most of the pre-parties and even the national... Well, does Austria have a national final? No, I don't think they do. But this was apparent through the pre-parties and other rehearsals that this was something that they would struggle at. And it kind of led to their downfall, because their staging with all the lights and the dancing and everything like that, that was good. That was pretty good. And the song is catchy. Eurodance is something that everybody likes. But the vocals are the main thing that basically tanked this song. And Czechia would have qualified over Austria in this semi. Czechia improved a lot. In the national final that Czechia did, that showed Aiko performing Pedestal, it was very, very rough. She sounded not quite ready. She wasn't really singing the push myself on a pet, that part. She wasn't really singing that part how she should have. It should have been more intense. And she really cleaned that up. Her vocals were great. Staging was really cool. I liked the screens that kind of came down and showed like the fieriness. I like that. And the song is pretty catchy as well. So with a 7.7 out of 10, would have qualified over Austria. This one was a shock qualifier. I did not see Don's getting in with his song Hollow, but his vocals is something that you cannot deny. Like, in the grand final, in the semi-final, is something that he absolutely brought. But it was his staging that was kind of okay. I feel like he was also quite static, and the tree and the purpleness kind of didn't really fit the song quite well. And the song is also something that is kind of forgettable, but other than the vocals, this song doesn't really have a lot going for it. Sorry, Dons. I love Dons. He's a great personality. But other than the vocals, it's something that probably wouldn't have made the grand final. Moving on to Luxembourg with Tali's Fighter. this is one of my favorite songs, actually, in Eurovision. Like, whenever this was first dropped, it was something that automatically caught my attention. I wasn't understanding why people thought it would non-qualify, and, you know, I mean, it's just a really, really fun song, and Luxembourg did a great job with this pick. Her vocals were pretty solid. The staging was the only thing that I think could have been better. I feel like the tiger or whatever that was behind her kind of chomping down on her or something was really quite tacky. And the song, again, as I said, is quite entertaining. So, yeah, with a 7.5 out of 10, I think this was a very, very solid entry for Luxembourg. And honestly, had they non-qualified, I feel like we might not be seeing Luxembourg next year, but it's already confirmed that Luxembourg will be joining Eurovision, and it's a very respectable place for them. I think they got like 13th or something like that, which is very, very good, and Tolly, it's a great, great song. Now, a lot of people are going to be kind of mad about this, and I'll explain in a minute as I take take a drink of water. But yeah, I put Juice Klein's Europapa in the grand final, as I agree with all of you guys in saying that we don't know enough about it. So while I agree on the surface that he shouldn't have been disqualified, we still don't really know what exactly he did, and how he interacted with this person that was either calling him names or some sort, saying something mean, or filming him without his permission, or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what went down, but besides that, I decided to put him into the grand final and not just put him in the non-qualifier, because I think he deserved it. And while this is kind of not a great result for him, I feel like his vocals lack something, and besides the vocals, everything else is quite solid and is something that kind of saves the song. In a song like this, like Netherlands, Estonia, Finland, vocals aren't the end-all to how a song performs, because you can absolutely get it back with perfect staging and just having a fun song, which is exactly what happens here with Europapa. And another thing that kind of lets it down, though, is its staging. I mean, I was expecting more elaborate staging, but I feel like he was also quite static, and the two people next to him, I mean, I don't know. I didn't really care for the staging that much. I wish it was more just crazy like the song is. And these two things, the vocals and the staging, is just a key part as to why, in my opinion, if he had made the grand final, wouldn't have done very well. Because the song is fun. I have the song at an 8.5, but the vocals and the staging are just kind of lacking. So a lot of people are going to be hating me for that, but I mean, I really think it's a solid song. Just again, something that's not necessarily jury friendly. Moving on to Sweden with "Unforgettable" by Marcus and Martinez. Okay, so with this, vocals is something that I didn't even really pay attention to, because there was so much to pay attention to, which is why I have the staging at a 9. The staging was beautiful. I love the use of the screens that came down and how it kind of looked like a music video. The staging was one of the best the entire night, but the vocals, it was kind of so overproduced, the song, that it was hard to kind of hear their vocals, but I decided to give it a 7.5 because I didn't really hear anything that was like off-key or off-pitch, something like that. Like, I didn't really hear any of that. And while the song is named Unforgettable, the song proves otherwise. It is quite a forgettable song. It sounds like something a boy K-pop group would kind of release, and I mean, it did give me a lot of K-pop vibes. The music video-ness of the staging and the song's kind of electronic and dance heaviness was something that reminded me heavily of K-pop. So, I mean, yeah, other than the staging, it's just kind of there. 7.6 out of 10. Kind of I'm actually shocked that it did place better than it did in the grand final. I wasn't expecting juries to like the song as much as they actually did. So Sweden had a very, very respectable placement, which is something they should absolutely be happy about, because I was expecting kind of on the lower end of things, but I mean, it didn't obviously end that way. Riven, Veronica, okay. This song is coming around to me, because when it first released, it took me a while for it to kind of blend in and for me to fully understand it. But it's still something that I'm not really a fan of. I feel like it's kind of just, it stays in one place and it doesn't really go anywhere. But you cannot deny her vocals in the grand final performance were absolutely incredible. The staging was quite unique. All the outfits, the kind of skin pale-ish looking outfits were very, very unique. And the song is kind of just okay. So a 7.6 out of 10. Honestly, a very, very respectable placement, because it could have easily non-qualified. It was right behind, It was right behind, like, Norway or something like that, right? Were they in... No, they were in semi-1. No, they were right behind Serbia. So yeah, they were right behind Serbia. That they almost didn't make it, but yeah. On my predictions, I actually predicted that Slovenia would not qualify, but I am happy that it actually did. Moving on to Finland. So this is one of the kind of joke songs that performed a lot better than I would have expected it to do. But the vocals actually quite came through. I forget, I think his name is Timu or something like that. But his vocals were very, very strong. I actually thought it was the best vocals I've ever seen of his throughout the Eurovision kind of year. Because in the semi, I found his vocals to be not great, but they improved a lot. And the staging, it looked like there were some errors in the either the first or the second semifinal. My memory is terrible, but there looked like there were some issues with the staging, and those also got redeemed in the grand final. It was very, very fun and fit the song perfectly. And the song is a 7. I think it's an okay song, but everything else is quite strong. And 7.6, again, is a very, very solid placement for Finland, and they should be happy about this. Moving on to the United Kingdom. Okay, so the reason that this is where it is because of its staging. Its staging, along with Sweden's, is similar to a music video. It's a very, very gay performance, which I feel like when it comes to the televote, maybe that's why it didn't perform very well. Certain audiences wouldn't like that kind of risqueness, because it did get a 0 in televote points. But yeah, the staging, his vocals were quite weak in both performances, the semi and the grand final. So the staging is pretty much the only thing that I think lifted it to be where it is, 7.7. The staging was quite elaborate, and everything else was kind of just okay. Another result that from the grand final I'm quite surprised at is Germany's Always on the Run. His vocals, absolutely incredible. That's something you can't deny he has. He's always had them. I've watched his covers of Pink, I think. I think that was one of the videos that I saw. His vocals are absolutely incredible, and that lifted the song quite high. His staging was quite good as well. The fire really kind of helped the song, and the kind of, I don't know, just the inside of wherever he was in kind of made it kind of like a room or a music video, kind of like it was separate from the stage, which was unique. But the song is probably the worst one in the grand final. I'm not a big fan of the song. It has grown on me, and it's really catchy, but his vocals are the main thing that kind of shocked me. Moving on to Georgia. How long is this video? Just checking. Okay, it's 20 minutes. It's going to be a long video, but we all expected that. But moving on to Georgia, we have Nudza's Firefighter. I really like this song, and I know a lot of people don't, but I think that this song is a catchy girl bop like Cyprus, like Austria, like Greece. I love these types of songs, and I'm a sucker for them, and I'm kind of shocked that it did get bottom 5 in the grand final. But, yeah, I really, really like the song, one of my favorites of the entire year. Vocals were good, staging was good, everything was as good as it probably could be. I feel like there was no errors with the performance. I think it was just the song that people didn't really care for. You know, I don't really know what you could do to fix this performance. But I liked everything about this performance, and it's a shame that it didn't perform better in the grand final than it actually did. Moving on to Lithuania in Luktelk. So, yeah, this is a very, very unique song. It's very pulsating, a very pulsating beat. The staging is absolutely incredible. It's a key part as to why this song did so great. Honestly, I mean, this easily could have done a lot better. But it is a very respectable placement for Lithuania. I feel that it was kind of hard to hear some of his vocals. I noticed that in the rehearsals and the semis that his vocals were kind of hard to hear. But yeah, the staging was very, very intense. Fit the song almost perfectly because of the pulsating beat. You have the kind of red and blue-ish lights flashing. But yeah, that would be... So it would be 13th for Lithuania, no? 12th or 13th? I don't know, but still. That would be about along the lines of exactly where he placed for grand final. So yeah, I'm happy with this placement. Moving on to Greece in Zari. Yeah, I mean, I'm bummed this is where it got placed, but I understand why. I love the song. I have it at a 9. The staging kind of backfired a bit. I feel like it could have been utilized better. The one camera shot staging could have been better. I was watching a video from... I forget his name. He's like the Eurovision guy. He analyzed a bunch of different songs like Greece, Switzerland, Estonia, something Eurovision. Overthinking Eurovision. That's the channel. But yeah, I was seeing that he thought that the staging would be more similar to her song Montisa, which was released a couple of years back, and the music video was basically her walking around the streets of Greece performing the song. And he was like, oh, it should have been her walking through the back of the arena, coming out through the stage in one shot. And I totally agree. I wish that would have been utilized more instead of the one kind of shot thingy. It didn't help that her vocals were a little bit shaky. I know she was sick and was going through the flu, and they did definitely improve in the grand final as compared to the semifinal. But yeah, I really wish this song did a lot better, like maybe top 5. I feel like top 5 is even kind of reaching a little bit, but maybe in between here. But yeah, you can't really do anything about that because you don't know how much like she was going through. Maybe she was way sick than we heard about. But yeah, staging. Yeah, I really wish this song did better than it did, but still, very, very respectable placement compared to last year because Greece non-qualified last year with a very, very okay song. Speaking of wish it did better is also Italy with La Noia. This is one of my favorite songs of the entire year, as well as Greece. And staging is basically its fate. It was just so messy. Her outfit was good, but the background of the staging and her dancers were kind of out of place. I feel like there did not need to be dancers. I feel like it could have been the exact same as her San Remo one, where she was wearing kind of the hooded outfit, right? And she was alone on the stage kind of doing her own thing. But they tried to go too elaborate into it. It kind of just went messy, and this is kind of sealed the fate for the song because her vocals were good. The song is obviously very, very good and jury friendly. It's just the staging that was totally a mess, but still a good result for Italy, but just kind of hoped for more. Zora, Nebulosa. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with my opinion, obviously, where this ended up, but I disagree with the fact that it should have been top or bottom 5. I really, really enjoyed this performance. Everything was really, really good. Her vocals sounded a lot better than any other performance that I've heard her perform the song in. The staging was just absolutely chaotic. The two men with their butts out. It was fantastic. The song is catchy as all hell. So yeah, I feel like this could have been a perfect placement for them in the grand final, but instead they're bottom 5, which is devastating, to say the least. Now I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but Croatia is 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is 8th. So yeah, I feel like this song is about where it deserves. I know a lot of people around Europe are like, "Oh, Baby Lasagna should have won," and I mean, you can't deny that his staging was incredible. The song is catchy. It's very interactive. It's the perfect song for a Eurovision win, but it's just basically my own song my song preferences, and I think this is why this song didn't do as good in my kind of analysis here as it would have. I just like not really a fan of that kind of rock kind of sound. It's a fun song, and I can't deny that. The staging was fun. I like the kind of the TV computer smashing, whatever you call that, is very, very fun. And the people on the stage was also a very, very fun element. A bunch of band members on the stage really helped in making that basically succeed. But yeah, I feel like it ultimately comes down to my song preference as to why that didn't do as well in this overall ranking. Yeah, let's go over this one because I'm devastated. I'm absolutely devastated. So Norway placed last in semi 2, right? Right? I think they placed last in semifinal 2. They placed low in semifinal 2. That's all I'm going to say. And they also placed last in the grand final. I think it's like a copy of Fulen, where all the kind of cultural, fun songs where it's supposed to be heavily about a culture and showcasing basically the ins and outs of the country, where it just doesn't succeed. And I mean, it's just such a great song. It has very good rock and metal influence mixed with the cultural aspect, which I love. Her vocals were flawless, to say the least, and the staging was just okay. It was something that doesn't really need a lot, because the heaviness of the song kind of overpowers that, which you don't need a lot. But yeah, I wish this would have been the result for the grand final, because I love this song, and I like the performance, but it turns out that the televote didn't really like it either. Damn, I'm so bummed about that. So bummed about that. Moving on to Israel. I'm gonna make this short and sweet. I like the song. I don't think they should have participated, obviously, but you can't deny that she did her thing, and it's evident here. Vocals were good. Staging doesn't need a lot because it's a simple song, and the song is absolutely beautiful. But yeah, enough said about that. That's my opinion. I know others have a different opinion, and I think it's best to Move on to the next one with Slimane. He did so well. Basically, he moved up the rankings a shit ton. I was not expecting this to do so well because the betting odds were kind of showing it maybe being last, maybe being a contender for last, like Foulain, France, was a couple of years back. But he brought it. I mean, it's very, very friendly with the juries. The vocals were incredible, almost flawless, which I have it as a 9.5. France loves their dramatic entries, and last year with Lazara, she was like on top of the Eiffel Tower, very dramatic French thing. They do it again, and it works for them. I mean, it worked for them this year. Didn't work last year, but I mean, I feel like that performance could have been so much better. But yeah, I'm not really a fan of the song just because it's not super original. But his vocals were incredible, and a top 5 finish is totally warranted. He did fantastic. I wasn't expecting the result, but it makes a lot of sense. Moving on to Ukraine with Aliona, and Jerry Hales, Teresa and Maria. This is a very, very solid performance. Everything's solid around the board. I love the staging with the kind of hill or whatever Jerry was climbing up, showing the bombs that Russia was raining down on Ukraine. I thought that was very, very symbolic. And at the end, showing them both laying down with all the other people on the screen there. I thought that was very cool. Their vocals were incredible, and the song is very, very Ukrainian and very. It just brings them back to their roots. It's a very, very Ukrainian song, and I'm happy that this did so well in the grand final, and obviously here, I think the song is fantastic. So my top 3, this might be shocking for a lot of people, obviously, at least the first 2, but I am a sucker for basically like anything cultural and happy, and it's evident here with Armenia here. Portugal with Yolanda, I wasn't expecting to like this song because it took me a while to really like the song. Whenever it came out, I was kind of be like, I don't really like it. I'm not giving it much attention. But something about the staging and her vocals absolutely redeemed it for me. Like, listening to the studio version of that song is not enough. The vocals, flawless. That high note, oh my god, fantastic. The staging, simplistic, but absolutely needed. Like, very simple, and it fit the song perfectly. Basically, everything but the song kind of pushed the song over for me, and it's an 8.8 out of 10. It's a totally deserved finish, and I'm so glad that Portugal did well. I was happy to see them get a lot of 12 points because her vocals were fantastic, and I am just very happy for Portugal because I wasn't expecting it either, but I am proud that they did. Moving on to my second place, which is Armenia with Jako by Lada Niva. It's just such a fun song. It's such an addictive song. Like, what is there not to love? The flute, her kind of charisma on stage, trying to get the crowd riled up with the la 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 la. That part is just so interactive that people can sing along to. And it did such a great job showing the Armenian culture, and the song did exactly that. Her vocals, stunning. I was dancing in my living room whenever I was listening to that song because it's just so infectious. And there's no way you don't dance when you hear that song. Everything about it was just amazing, which is why it's my second place, which is 1 point off from Switzerland, which is Nemo's The Code. Deserved winner, in my opinion. The staging was simple, but not simple at the same time. I don't know how, wait. Do you know what I'm forgetting? Do you know what I'm forgetting? I'm forgetting Ireland. I have it somewhere. I'm forgetting Ireland. Right? I had Ireland in there somewhere. I don't know where they went. Bambi, where did you go? But I think in my analysis, Bambi was like right here, because I feel like the song is just okay. I gave it an 8, but the staging was the best of the night. The staging is like a music video. And their vocals are absolutely amazing. Like, their scream, that kind of vocal where they scream while they're belting out a note is just one of my, like, I love when people do that. So yeah, I think they would have been right around there, like an 8.1, 8.2, something like that. But oh my god, I don't know how I forgot about Ireland. How did I forget about Ireland? Like, I talked about them, but like, how did I forget about it? But Nemo, yeah, is a deserved winner. I do not know how they didn't fall off that platform that was moving around so fast. But what they did, singing as well while they did what they did on the stage, is just so impressive. And it doesn't help that the song is fantastic. It has rap. It has drum and bass. It has opera. It influences so many different genres together. And to basically do all of that while on the stage, it's just a deserved winner right there. Like, I don't know what else there is to say. Nemo, you did a great job. Everyone, you did a great job. And now I want to talk about the non-qualifications. I already talked about Denmark, Czechia, and Poland, as they would have been in over Estonia, Austria, and Serbia, in my opinion, because I feel like their performances did a lot better than the other ones. But I'm just checking the time, sorry. But let's go over the non-qualifications now. We have Malta with Sara Benici. This going last is absolutely shocking. Like, I do not know how this went last. I mean, I guess there was like a lot of girl bops and fun tracks that this one kind of got. Like, at least one of these had to not qualify, and in the end it was Malta, but I just don't understand how it was last. 16th in semifinal. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But Sarah did a fantastic job with what she could. I thought everything was okay. It's such a fun song. And I gave it a 7.2, which almost overtook Czechia and Denmark, but those are much better performances that I think would have been better suited for the final. But yeah, Sarah did a great job. This one was kind of a shock non-qualification. Before the Party's Over by Musty. His vocals lacked severely. The staging with the microphones and everything, I didn't understand the direction. The song was the only thing I think that helped the song, because if he had a bad song, basically the song is why it's a shock non-qual. Because if he didn't have a good song, none of this obviously would have been surprising, and I'm just disappointed because I feel like he could have done a lot better. The staging could have been more elaborate. He tried to recreate it similar to the music video, but it didn't really fit on a big stage like that. A smaller stage would have probably worked better, but no. Azerbaijan and San Marino. Megara really struggled vocally. Staging, I mean, there's only so much you can do staging-wise when your vocals aren't as good. I like the song, but with vocals like that, you're not going to qualify. Azerbaijan, everything was good. Everything was good. I feel like just the song is not good enough to make it, and that's exactly what happened here. But everything else, I mean, yeah, it's fine. Moldova and Albania, I am pissed that Besa change the Albanian version over the English version. I like the Albanian version Zemindor a lot better than the English version. It has a lot more character to it, and it feels just bland. Now that it is in English, it loses all of its character pretty much, and I think it could have qualified had it been in Albanian. I am disappointed in the English version, and I'm mad she picked it over it. Moldova, you know, her vocals were solid, but the song, it's just boring. It's just boring, and I understand why it non-qualified. Iceland, Hair's a Queen. Her vocals, she knows how to sing. Staging in the song, horrendous. Absolutely horrendous, which is tied for last with Australia. I really love this song. It's a 7.5, which is on par with the ones that actually did qualify, according to my analysis. But the vocals were terrible. Like, the staging was a mess. There was too many people. The background didn't fit. It was just too many people on the stage. Too many people on the stage. They all looked awkward. Vocals were out of time and not good. I am disappointed in Australia, but I'm not surprised that it didn't qualify. So that pretty much sums it all up. This is a long video, but I really wanted to take the time to go over my thoughts and give an overall ranking to every song, and highlight the songs that didn't qualify, to appreciate them as well, because I love Eurovision, and it was a very fun experience for me, because this is the first basically time period that I've gone from one year to Eurovision to the next, because in 2023 I became a fan in the middle of the Eurovision year. So this is like the first fully fledged year that I've been a fan. So I wanted to take the time to make a video to analyze my thoughts on it. I love Eurovision with all my heart, and I'm sad that all the drama happened with the EBU. There needs to be changes, obviously, but that could be for another video. But yeah, I really enjoyed this Eurovision, and a lot of songs are going to be on repeat for a very, very long time. I am planning on doing not really an analysis, but reactions to certain songs from past Eurovisions, because I have heard some songs from 2021 and 2022, but not all of them, and going further back would also be fun. So I might take a deep dive in some songs from those years and seeing what countries did well and what countries did not. But thank you guys so much. If you're watching the end of this and watching the longest video so far of the channel, 43 minutes, it's a long time. And I need water, bad, because my throat hurts. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts on this Eurovision, what ones you disagree on, like my placements and stuff, and what songs from past Eurovisions I should react to, because, yeah, I mean, I love Eurovision, and I'm going to be going through severe withdrawal of Eurovision while this year kind of passes by. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.